It's just a quick one. It's my first time here.
Well,
Thank you. And I was invited by my friend Lee. And I've been on a bit of an interesting journey. So he thought it might be helpful for me, and it has been, to kind of look at things from this perspective. I'm struggling. I'm suffering, and I know that's not, that's part of the human experience. So that's fine. It was just something that you were saying at the beginning about the body and the sensations, and seeing the body as a collection of sensations as opposed to it being a body. And I just couldn't work it out in my head, because when you said, I know that's my mind, but trying to get from my nose to the heel of my foot, for example, try to think about the distance. I can perceive that. But then when you say there's no body, but tangibly that we can feel a body, do you mean in an energetic sense? I'm trying to work it out in my head. I know I shouldn't probably be trying to work anything out.
no, it's good to try and it's good to work things out in your head, and sometimes not. And there are no rules,
Okay.
but it comes from a very old Buddhist philosophy, like that there is no cup. It's
Yes.
like, but there clearly is a cup. But is the handle the cup, right? So take away the handle. So is the rim the cup? Is the clay the cup? So the cup is what the mind does to formulate an object,
Right.
but
So it's
none
the
of the
label.
things, yeah, so none of the things that it's using to formulate the cup are the cup. None of the things you use to formulate the body are the body. And you can break that down to feet, legs, arms. Okay, well, let's have a look at the feet. Are the toes the feet? Is the sole of the feet the feet? So what it's highlighting is opening up the possibility to understand that your mind is a fabricating tool. And when you ultimately drill down to what remains, it's just consciousness. It's just consciousness is at the root of that. And it doesn't mean you have to spend all of your days walking around saying, my body doesn't exist, because it clearly appears, right? It clearly appears. And it's a very, for a human being, it's a very significant, it is the most significant object that we ever encounter. But it is still a fabrication of the mind from all of these different appearances that have no end. They are all based on dependent origination. And at the root of that is just consciousness. So it's a way, the way that you can use it if you're in suffering is you can relax into these array of appearances. So we might be going, oh, let's say I've got a toothache actually. So I could be saying, I've got a toothache and I've got a toothache. And what my mind will do is it will bother me all day telling me I've got a toothache, I've got a toothache, I've got a toothache, because it's creating this thing. But my actual experience is there's an intensity, there's an intense vibe, right? And it's intermittent. Sometimes I'm aware of it, sometimes I'm not. So already I didn't have a toothache all day. And then when I close my eyes, what is a tooth, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's just the appearance. And then when you look into even the sensation, even that breaks down into various sensations. There's a warmth, there's a kind of pin sensation in the middle of it, but it's not all like it just becomes more open, more spacious, and you're more able to be with these difficult sensations because you're removing the suffering that the mind creates. You're still left with what would appear to be a pain. It's not as if the pain goes away, But so much of our suffering is caused by our mind fabricating, speculating, and resisting. So with the toothache, if I just allow it, already it's more manageable. So it isn't. So these types of conversations, I don't use them as a way to lead someone into a complete experience of emptiness. That's something that we can explore ourselves. It's just to introduce a perspective about your experience that is more accurate to your reality, and it's more comfortable. It's really not quite that simple. If you feel suffering, look into what's suffering. It will appear in the body as breathing, as tension, but then what's tension? All of these things have to be given the quality attributed to them by the mind, right?
Yeah. No, that makes, even as you said it, it kind of went, ah, yeah, okay, yeah. I felt the spaciousness that you
Great.
were.
Yeah. And we do, I just want to say one thing. Sorry for cutting you off. We do this in life. Someone who is want consciously gets on a roller coaster, they're seeking fear and they love it. But if you're in a car pelting down a hill, you're terrified and you hate it. Both of those are just the experience of intensity. So so in some ways, understanding your true nature and experiencing life from there, because you reduce the sense of me, then everything's a roller coaster because there's no one to crash, right? If your identity of yourself is lessened to being the identity of me, Joe is in trouble and is going to become hurt. That's way more scary than I am pure space and or I am awareness, and whether my body exists or not, I am.
Mm.
So you create by this perspective, you begin to cultivate a sense of safety, a sense of indestructibility, not for your body, because the body is definitely a, a time limited experience.
Yeah.
But what you truly are is infinite, eternal, indestructible, unwavering. It never changes. The same person or the same looking that you had when you was 3 or 7 or 12 or now, it's the same looking and it never changes. So we are cultivating a true identity of true nature rather than the separate self that has a body and suffers. We become the knower of that experience rather than the object of that suffering.
Mm. Yeah.
And yeah, so there's analogies that can help. Um, the iceberg is one that I like to talk about. The iceberg melting into the ocean. It's probably terrified if it had our faculties because it doesn't think it's the ocean, but it's all made of water and it's literally going home to its true nature, which is water. So that we experience that while we have apparently have these bodies, we can actually experience our true nature as as consciousness in which the body has appeared.
Mm. Mm. That's that's really beautiful actually to think of that it like that.